Hi everybody, this is TychoCelchuuu and you're watching a Company of Heroes 2 shoutcast. Our game today is on Moscow outskirts. It's a match between CcArtS playing as the Ostherr and Odeng 101 playing as the Soviets. And apparently there's some crazy strategy or something, or there's a weird thing. That's all I know. I downloaded the replay from CoH2.org. 3 Pyos coming out from CcArtS, so perhaps that is the crazy strategy that is going to be going on. At least 3. Maybe when he gets up to 200 manpower he'll get a 4th. Perhaps we shall see some sort of Pyo spam, but nothing too crazy from the Soviets yet. Just a conscript squad, so that's what we would expect. So now we're paying attention to the next 200 munitions, because that's when he can choose to spam even more or not. Or manpower, not munitions. Ta-da! Look at how he has 11 munitions income despite not owning anything on the map except this point. That's because this point gives you munitions, and also having your HQ will give you a small munitions boost. Like 8 or something. 6. Whatever. Plus fuel. You get fuel and munitions just for sitting there. Hippity hop. So we did go up to 200 manpower without getting a Pioneer squad, but he dumped the 200 manpower into Battle Phase 1. So, yep, going a quick Tier 1 or Tier 2, depending on what you want to call it, and he's going to be able to secure the map fairly well with his Pyos until he hits enemy units, because Pioneers are typically going to lose against enemies unless you can get them in close, and that's going to be fairly tough usually on a map like this. With all these wide open spaces, you can use something like these trees or something to go around a corner and catch your opponent, but typically they'll be able to see you coming. Let's turn on the Fog of War, and nope, does not see these people coming thanks to True Sight, even though you figure maybe this guy can see past the thing. Now they can. Now they can all see each other. Kind of weird, I don't know, but this building will let them hole up here and keep the opponent from taking this all-important strategic point. I guess people seem to fight over this area quite a bit on Moscow outskirts because there's a building here, but like all they're fighting over is this cutoff point, which is only important if the North player is going to get this fuel over here, which is obviously not as common as the North player getting this fuel over here, so I'm not sure why fights seem to happen so much around here. I guess it's just where units happen to meet, and someone's always going to grab the building because that'll get them such survivability. So we are seeing massive Pyo spam for Pioneers out from CcArtS. So that is indeed a crazy strategy, and we've already teched up to this tier, and he's building this tier. So the Lichte Mechanized Company is going to get you your half-tracks and your Panzer Grenadiers, and I guess your mortars, is that what you get? And your AT guns. So we'll have to see if it's going to be a quick Panzergren strat or something, just with a lot of Pioneers. If you can hear the plane flying over my house, then, or my apartment, then congratulations. I live in San Diego, so there's a Air Force base around, so I'm constantly being strafed by jets. Look at these Pioneers just holding up like a beast against these guys in the house. I guess they're not getting shot at. Maybe these guys are getting shot at. Who's getting shot at? Who are these conscripts shooting at? They're not doing a very good job of it. Whatever it is. And again, holding up in this house. I'm not really sure why, right? Like, you could be out capping stuff with this. These people are idle. These people aren't. What's he busy microing? Oh, now they're moving. Okay, so they're only idle for a second. So I just don't know. Can you... I'm sure you can hear the airplane. It's loud even in my earphones when I'm listening to the game. So I'm not sure why he's holed up in this house so much. He's not doing anything except maybe distracting... Ooh. Sucks to be these guys. That's going to be a big problem. We're going to see scout car spam. Why did I say mortar? You don't get a mortar out of here, you get a scout car. So maybe scout car spam from CcArtS, or at least getting a scout car to pick off the clown car that he thinks is coming, but it's not coming. How many conscript squads has he seen? He's seen 1, 2, and then the one in the house. So he's seen... Maybe he's just seen... Yeah, he's seen 3. Turns out there's 4. So we're not maybe going to see clown car spam for a while. These guys are retreating now, though, so you'd figure they're going back to build something. In any case, he won't want to upgun the scout car then. He doesn't have the munitions at 70, but he's not going to want to upgun the scout car because that makes it much worse at killing infantry. So he wants to save that until the clown car comes out. So CcArtS now going to the Panzergren. So fast tier, whatever you get this stuff out of, and he'll use his Panzergrens to get infantry domination superiority. And this scout car, not a good choice for him had he known the clown car wasn't coming. Of course, it's hard to know that. Funny that this thing didn't run over the fence. It got really close, and it was thinking about it, but then it was like, nah, I won't run it over. I'm going to force all these infantry to leap over the fence if they want to get there fast. Which is annoying, right? You have to micro all your infantry if you want them to get over that fence in the front of your base. almost loses his flamethrower, but for whatever reason these don't focus fire it. Probably they were too far away. Now they're Uraing, presumably to get an AT grenade in on this. Let's swap over. Yes, he does have AT grenades researched, but oh, CcArtS stops backing up. Oh, and gets a nice kill on that guy. Had he not, he might have thrown. That guy was pulling one out, I think, and he got killed. So Panzer Grenadier saved the day, and lucky hit from the scout car saves the day. That went pretty well for CcArtS. Now he's going to move in on these conscripts, maybe going to eat an AT grenade here if he's not careful. He's probably going to try and kite them is what's going to happen. Kiting is tougher, obviously, in Company Heroes 2, because once they get the grenade off, you can't kite your way away. You have to kite your way away before they throw the grenade. But, wow. Not only does he bait the grenade and do an excellent kite, but he wipes the squad out. So that's a huge pickup for CcArtS, going to really help him get back in the game from losing that Pioneer squad so early. He also really down on map control, so now is when he's going to want to make this happen. We do finally have Tier 1 out from the Soviets, and here's this clown car. Delayed clown car by quite a bit. He's got 86 fuel in the bank, and this is after, in fact, researching anti-tank grenades. So he's just going to have to make do with his guards rifle for a while, and he's probably going to see his map control evaporate. CcArtS doing a nice job of spreading out. Pyos here, Panzergren's here, scout car here, and Panzergren's moving out, and these Pyos are not moving out because they were building the bunkers, so they can be a medic bunker. Medic bunker is important once you get these Panzer Grenadiers out, because they're really expensive to reinforce, and you're 100% guaranteed they're going to be taking some damage, because they have to run in close to do damage to the enemy. So they're going to be taking damage as they run in close, and you're going to want to heal them up again. So we get a double clown car strategy coming out from the Russians. The first clown car just hanging out in the base with the guard's rifle. Maybe going to move once he knows where the scout car is from his enemy. Let's take a look at the VPs. Nothing going on, 480-ish for about both of them. These guys are going to get destroyed. This is painful. Oh, and look at that retreat, right? Because this is fenced in by the wire that he himself laid? It doesn't tell you who laid the razor wire, and now that both sides get the razor wire. If I had to guess, I would have said the Germans, right? Because then the Soviets go in here to cap this out, but then to get over here, they have to hop over this fence, which is actually trivially easy, but it is an APM tax. You have to micro your people over that fence rather than just right-click. So I'm not sure why you have to micro people over the fence in this game. I guess they want to be more like StarCraft and add more APM requirements. But huge damage to this clown car just from the normal machine gun on the scout car, plus a bit of Panzergrenz, and loses 2 men in the explosion. Badly timed grenade there, not able to get those Panzergrenz. A nice try from the Soviet player, but huge loss there as long as CcArtS able to repair his scout car, and it looks like he'll be able to. Nothing much the Soviets have that's going to be able to make it there in time, except if he wants to risk his clown car. The clown car alone can, of course, kill this, because it has a machine gun on the front. And in fact, a machine gun on the front is almost as good versus this as this machine gun is versus the clown car. Where's the clown car? As it versus the clown car. But it's pretty risky, and especially with these Panzer Grenadiers on the field, they can get some huge damage in. So CcArtS pile spam into scout car, and Panzergren's going fine. He's got his second scout car out. We'll look at that in a second once this fight's over. Panzergren's doing pretty good. See, I told you they'd take a lot of damage. They got down to half health before anyone, and it's really important that they force these flamers off when they did. When you're this low, criticals start triggering against you, and flamethrowers are really good at getting those criticals, and that's when you start insta-dying. So now they have to retreat and pull back out of there, and there they go. So, like I said, really low health, but 3 men still left in the squad, so it's really good that he's got this healing station back at his base. Got his scout car halfway up repaired, and here's the second scout car I promised I'd show you, and now as a double team, it's going to be really annoying for these guards rifle to deal with them, but look at that, half health on this thing. Oh, another down to a quarter health, a couple more shots. Now he's got the up gun, so all he needs is to kite this thing into this thing's range and it'll kill it, but who can see who? He can see that. He can see that. They both know they're there. It's a very deadly game here. It's a dangerous game they're playing. He just needs to get some good, boom, penetrating hits from the guard's rifle. That thing is dead. He doesn't want to move forward here without a little assurance that this thing's going to have to maybe bug out and get killed. He wants to kill it, but it's deadly. This is weird stuff. It's more, the original Company Heroes did not have a lot of stuff like that, where 2 things were like glass cannons and could just destroy each other, but could also get destroyed The original Company Heroes was more laid back. Things took a while to die, right? You have squads of like men rather than like individual people or something. But now this is a lot more like a traditional real-time strategy game. Your tanks or your vehicles, like, I don't know, in Red Alert or StarCraft or something, if you drive a bunch of tanks towards the enemy tanks, like half of your tanks are going to blow up whether or not you kill the enemy, right? They're just like half your siege tanks are going to blow up, or half your mammoth tanks are going to blow up, or whatever. You're going to lose stuff in fights. The original Company Heroes, you weren't going to lose something in every fight. You know, if you were good with your units or something, chances are everyone would come out alive. In Company Heroes 2, the lethality is just so high that if you commit to a fight, chances are you're going to lose something even if the opponent loses something, especially when it comes to the vehicles. The infantry is still about as resilient as it was before, except up against flames. But versus vehicles, there's a lot of glass cannon stuff going on. So a nice volley off from this gets a few hits. That scout car is down. Now that both these scout cars are at half health, it's going to be not much fun. If one of the clown cars is at full health and the other is hurt, then the one at full health can sort of lead the charge and take a bit of damage while the second one comes in, and then you figure 2 volleys will take out the enemy scout car. But as it stands, either one of these would go down in one good burst from this thing, so they can't, neither of them can run in close. Don't get closer to the building. What are you doing? Seemed like a bit of a premature retreat right there. Probably could have gotten some good damage in on these Panzergrens, but the thing is you can't soft retreat anymore in the sense that you run away from the enemy while they're running towards you. You can still do that, obviously, but you won't fire behind you when you do that. So with these Panzer Grenadiers coming up from here, these 2 conscript squads had to face the prospect of just like forever running across here, and as the Panzer Grenadiers closed in on them, they'd take damage and potentially just lose the fight and get forced off eventually, or sort of stand their ground and fire at the Panzer Grenadiers, but then take damage from these guys in the building. So he just figured he'd cut his losses and run in that situation. Didn't want to see his conscript evaporate, and I think he's paying for it, because now these guards rifle alone aren't able to do much versus these infantry. They're getting roasted up. Nice grenade there, by the way, but a little too far this way. A little too far this way, I should say. Right here is exactly where he wants it. But now he gets his guards rifle pushed off. So potentially should have thought about making a stand with his conscripts, especially because you've got to fucking hit the dirt. So what you really actually, now that I'm thinking about it, what you do is you take one of these conscript squads, you get 2 of them, one of them hits the dirt, the other runs away. So these guys who hit the dirt, they'll tank damage forever. Maybe you force a bundle grenade from the Panzer Grenadiers that were coming up here, but even if you do force a bundle grenade, you just retreat these guys, and then these guys hit the dirt. They're invincible, they're further away, so they can do huge damage on the Panzer Grenadiers while they come in, and that would have been beautiful. So whenever you have 2 conscript squads, so one of the only bad things, here we go, the upgun scout car, this can, at Vet 2, it can take on a T-70 if you're lucky, but the T-70 can take it on too, so he got a really good burst, a lot of penetrating hits. What you need is penetrating hits. The second burst, you notice, doesn't do quite as much damage to the T-70. It's basically down to luck whether or not you penetrate, and so now he's at low enough health that he has to pull back the T-70, like I said, a fight of glass cannons, right? But in any case, whenever you have 2 or more conscripts in a fight, keep in mind that hit the dirt, one of the only things that negates hit the dirt is grenades. So especially bundle grenades from the Panzer Grenadiers, huge damage to people who hit the dirt. Not tremendous damage because they hit the dirt, so they're basically invincible, but still pretty good damage, right? You don't want to have an immobile squad that's hit the dirt that gets bundle grenaded, and because the only way you can get out of that is to basically retreat, unless the cooldown on hit the dirt is done. And you can unhit the dirt and then run away, but you have to be really fast to get that to work. By the way, wonderful map control by CcArtS. He's got basically everything capped. But when you have 2 squads around, if one of them hits the dirt and the other one just runs away, like walks away, moves away, soft retreats, then if the one that hits the dirt baits the grenade and then retreats, the other one can then hit the dirt, and it's perfectly fine unless your opponent has another Panzer Grenadier squad. And even if they do, then you can force another bundle grenade or something instead of force one bundle grenade on both your squads. So if you have 2 conscript squads, both of which can hit the dirt, use that to your advantage, because you can know that you'll be safe once you bait the grenade out with one of the conscript squads. And if you're just going to retreat them both anyways, like we saw Odeng 171 do here, then think about, like, you don't have to retreat everything in tandem. If you're going to retreat them anyways in a sec, just hit the dirt before you retreat, because you know, maybe you can sit there for 10 minutes and do some stuff before you have to end up pulling back. So CcArtS is probably going to look to get a really good engagement here. He knows basically where his opponent is. His opponent's pushing out because he's got, whoops, this is the wrong person, because he's got basically sight of a lot of the map. Actually, he doesn't have much sight. How come... sometimes I look and it seems like you can see stuff from the strategic points you cap, and sometimes I look and it seems like you can't see anything. But anyways, now he knows where his opponent is. He's moving in. Gonna want to get some damage in on these clown cars. Flanking, oh well, we have a half-track built by the Soviets, so I guess obviously they teched it tier 3. They got fast T-70. Where's the T-70, by the way? It's being repaired in the Soviets' base if you check the minimap, so that's not really good for the Soviets in this fight. Luckily, he's not going to take a lot of damage here because he's just getting shot at by scout cars, which don't do jack shit against infantry, especially once they're hitting dirt. And he can just use these guards rifle to pick away at them forever, but he's firing at the infantry with his guards rifle, which is unfortunate. Should maybe think about just moving forward a bit. He's got some people in here. He's got a half-track and a scout car and a scout car, so he's ready to move in on the Germans. He's just getting all his stuff together, and I don't know what he's doing. Here's the T-70. Oh man, this is gonna be bad if he uses a Shrek. Oh, this is really bad. This is really bad. It can crush these people. That's your only hope right now. Or run away. Okay. These guys are really accurate at range, though. Panzer Shreks. Oh, he got out. Good for him. So, these guys are still hit the dirt. Clown cars... Oh, scout cars transitioning over to catch the T-70. This thing is going to get owned. Huge damage, though, to the scout car. See, look at that. Oh, glass cannons everywhere. So that's poor misuse of the T-70. He's got all his forces concentrated here. If you want to go for a flanking maneuver, go for a flanking maneuver, but I guess he just got pushed off and couldn't get away. I would have thought about just driving up north and then back to base or something. Anything to get the T-70 out alive. When you rush a T-70 this early in the game, you gotta make it do stuff for you. He's got 72 fuel. He dumped it into the T-70 and to the half-track, which he's now upgraded with a quad gunner. Once you've teched to tier 3 and you've got this much fuel, I don't know, I feel like it's time for the T-34, right? If you're going to dump it all into tier 3, if you're not going to go up to tier 4 and get the Su-85, which looks like he doesn't have to because CcArt's not going for the Panzer IVs yet. I don't know, maybe I just like the T-34s more than most people. I don't think I do, though. It's like, obviously we saw the dangers of the T-70. They just get completely destroyed by these two scout cars once your opponent has scout car supremacy. So you need something that holds up better. The T-34 holds up better. You need something with long range. T-34's got long range. You need something that can crush people, and although the T-70 can crush people, it's very, very risky to get in that close to Panzer Shreks. Not very risky to get close to anything else, though, because it's not like the Germans have a lot of AT grenades. Because they don't. This could drive around to the side of the bunker, by the way. I'm just pointing that out. Look at that star. Did you see that star? That was sort of weird. the infantry got the veterancy, and the star was trying to follow them, but it was on, like, the car or something. How did he suppress those guys? Jesus, did this scout car suppress those people, or was this firing on them when I wasn't watching? In any case, he lost one of his clown cars, so this is looking worse and worse for the Soviets. Probably holding out for the fuel for a T-34 is what I imagine. He's floating a shit ton of manpower, so that's not good. I don't know. Okay, maybe a Soviet player is not very good. Between getting a so half-track, I probably should have mentioned, don't buy these. Like, they're not good units. By the time you get them out, you'll have had the clown card probably for like 50 years, right? Like, you have to get to tier 3 for your half-track, whereas you get tier 1 for the clown card. So I guess if you go tier 2 rather than tier 1, then once you get to tier 3, you're like, I really need a clown card, but I don't have them, so let me build a half-track. But especially if you've teched up the clown cards already. What is this? Someone, oh, his flamethrower got exploded. Which is really bad for him standing around in this and losing all his men now. So he's reinforcing by the half-track, right? So that's good. That's a cool thing you can do, but aside from that, the half-track just sucks. This gun on the top is kind of funny. It's not suppressing these people or anything. It doesn't do a ton of damage. It's not awful, but just for the price you pay for it, this thing plus 90 munitions is it's not very good. And you see how low health it is, right? It's barely better than Clown Card. It'll let you reinforce in the field and do not much else. So by the time you get to tier 3, you should be spending your fuel on other stuff. This guy is just, okay, Soviet player, I don't know. He's bought a sniper now. He's still floating 800 manpower and 110 fuel. Potentially, he's not even teching up to tier 4 or anything. Maybe he's just waiting for his engineers to come in. Finally spending up some of his manpower, buys another sniper, or builds another sniper, is still building right now, buys another guard's rifle. Should have done this like 20 minutes ago. These snipers would have done a number on these Panzer Grenadiers, and now that this thing's upgraded with the UF gun, it's fairly bad against snipers. We have a mortar half-track out from CcArtS, so I think CcArtS has this in the bag. Here's how you win as Germans without taking Panzer IVs. You be better, way better than your opponent, is what I'm thinking here. Soviet player, biggest mistakes, floating too much manpower and not doing enough with the T-70. He Tech 2 super quick, and also not making use of his Tier 3 in other ways, namely by building a T-34. He's just got more fuel than he knows what to do with. Shouldn't have sunk it into the half-track. Needs to have made better teching choices and better use of what he ended up teching to. That T-70, when it got in this fight here and got really low, it ran out over this direction, which is just asking to get destroyed by all the German armor. By German armor, I mean scout cars, by all the scout cars that were coming up here, and that's how we lost this T-70. Whereas a safer bet would have been to go up here, and then over here, and then down here. At least anything to let your T-70 live to fight another day. You want your T-70 to be doing huge damage. That's why you bought the T-70. That's all it's good for. As you get, oh, here we come, strafing run. This is gonna be ugly. Soviet player doesn't see it. I don't know how he doesn't see it. You're a terrible player. No! Jesus Christ. He's lucky to get out with these two men. Like, holy shit. Lost the sniper, lost probably a conscript squad or something, maybe engineer squad, who knows. Everybody's dead. Soviet player's fucked. And we have a Tiger. So Tiger's not so great, but certainly better than anything the Soviets got on hand. So that was a fun game. Hope you enjoyed it. CcArtS fairly dominant with his interesting strategy of pile spam into tier whatever, but you know, Panzergrens and scout cars not so bad. Everybody likes Panzergrens and the scout cars, and it certainly worked against this player who was too slow with all his stuff and made bad choices once he got the stuff. So I will see you around. Bye.